Welcome to a mediocre whitetail podcast. This is your host, Gage Coppock speaking, and today I'm joined by
And Marty
Marty what?
Coppock, Dad.
Rafe, hold on. I think I may or may not have missed you there.
Rafe Smart. There we go.
There it is.
Rafe thinks he's smart.
So.
All right. So we've done a couple pods now. Got the hang of it to our crowd. If you guys are still tuning in and listening. If you don't know, but by now we're a hunting podcast, and we like to just, I don't know, try to create a deer camp vibe and let people tune in and listen and maybe get the feel for it for themselves. And today we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the old man that got me into hunting, and we're gonna grill him. We're gonna see what answers we can get out of some questions from him, and yeah, we're gonna have a good time. So, Padre,
Yeah, man.
introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background in hunting and kind of how you got started with it.
So, I kind of picked this all up on my own. It was, I didn't have a whole lot of a father figure growing up, but picked it up on my own. Took off, went out and bought myself a bow, and started doing this stuff, just trying to figure it out. And I don't go out and kill the big deer, you know. I just
You're in the mediocre class.
I am in the mediocre class. I am.
What was your first bow?
My first bow, geez, I don't know what. I think it was a bear, and it had a 30-pound draw on it.
A 30-pound draw.
Yep, I was in 7th grade. 30-pound draw on it. That was my first bow. I went out and I killed rabbits or whatever. But eventually, graduated. The first bow that I actually deer hunted with was the Z7 that the family got me as a birthday gift. And Matthew Z7, and that's where I did all my damage. Where I got my deer, and Gage has it hanging on the wall here, and it's a
wrecking machine.
It is a wrecking machine. I like that bow very much. If you ask me a favorite, that is it. That is the bow. I really had a lot of luck with it. It shoots nice and smooth. Matthews, listen up. I really like that bow.
Well, stepping back and looking at Matthews, I've only ever shot Matthews really. So like when you graduated from the Z7, you upgraded. I got the Z7,
Mm-hmm.
and my main reason for loving Matthews was I watched you out in the yard shooting it, and I wanted to be like that. And I saw the Z7, and I'm like, man, that thing is sweet. And then I got to hold it, and I got to shoot it. And I'm like, I'm never going to shoot a different brand. So, yes, Matthews, listen up.
Yeah. So I had that, and I did go to a Hoyt, and I forget the model or whatever it is, but yeah, I liked the Hoyt, but it just didn't compare.
The Z7.
Yep.
Debatable.
Go ahead. Debate.
I just think that the Hoyt carbons are pretty comparable bows.
They are.
But I think it's just going to really come down to preference. The Hoyts, they really, once you draw back, they want to like really
They want to
rip.
jump.
But if you're fine with pulling back that power, then it really doesn't matter. If you're really old and you got you got shoulders that are kind of torn up, and you want to draw back and have that smoother kind of feel, then I think you got to go with the Matthews. But if you're a young buck and want to kill some big deer, then go with the Hoyt. But Marty, I know you said that you didn't really have the father figure to bring you into hunting. What sparked your interest to get into hunting in the first place?
What sparked the interest? Good question, Rafe. It really is just, it's what you do around here. Really is you get into the bow hunting, and I mean, a lot of folks love to go out and gun hunt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, yeah, there's 650,000 people every year that do it in Wisconsin.
Good call. Good call. I am a fair weather person. I am. I like the fair weather, and um, when it's zero, below zero, I'm not inclined to go out and sit, be it a box blind or whatever kind of stand. I'm just not inclined to do it. And
Mhm.
sure, you go out with your gun, right? You can shoot, 100, whatever you're gonna shoot,
Yeah.
150. But I enjoyed the bow hunting. I enjoy the better weather. I enjoy having the. I don't. Is it
Close
the
proximity.
close proximity? It's getting comfortable having those deer close to you, having to control your scent a lot different.
A lot more challenging.
It's
It
more
is
like
more challenging.
it's more
for
like
sure.
hunting than it is just shooting.
That is very true. Very true. But number one, it's the weather. I don't care for the cold weather when I'm out hunting.
Well, you're a Florida boy.
I am a Florida boy, and and even I mean, you can go out and go bow hunting, and it'd be 32 degrees, and you sit there for 5 hours, and it's as you get older, as I have learned, you pick up that bow, and whew, that stuff ain't it ain't working. It ain't ready to go all the time, and it can be work. And I liked my Hoyt. I did. But like Rafe said, it is
Jumpy.
snappy. It is snappy and it wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got colder and older, that's kind of funny. It rhymes. But it just felt more comfortable with the Hoyt. The Matthews had a much easier draw, whereas the Hoyt was snappy and wanted to go. I'm not trying to sell one or the other.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the Matthews more.
So then, are there any stories that jump out to you with the Z7 right off the bat?
Oh, absolutely. So, my brother, Jody Garkey, and I would used to go to Kentucky, and there was one trip we made, and we went down to Kentucky, and it was a great trip. And
Now hold on. Was this
Yeah.
the one where you fell in cow shit?
no, that was the prior year. That was the prior year. No, actually,
You got to run us through that story first.
Let me think about that for a second. That was the year, actually, as I think about it, because I got the doe. We set up the turkey blind, and we knew the spot, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna get a where I'm sitting, so I'm gonna get a doe, but I could watch, and it was probably 200 yards away into the woods, where we knew this buck he's making scrapes, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll go out and get my doe, and I'll watch and see if the buck comes in there. Well, I shot out of the through the turkey blind. I got the doe. Didn't see the buck or any action going on, but it was great. I'm sitting. It was so easy. I just sat there, through the turkey blind, shot this doe, and we went and recovered it, and we took it back to the camp. And as we're hanging it up in the tree, we're pulling it up, and with rope, and the rope snapped. And as I was pulling, the rope snaps, and I fall backwards, and right into a big old pile of cow manure. And
So, where were you guys staying for this trip?
in a little, it was a trailer. It was a trailer, snakes, mice, the whole 9 yards. When
And
you go
this
to
was
Kentucky.
on like a 40, 60.
It was probably closer to 300 acres of
Whoa.
land that we were
Wow.
on.
Nice farm.
Yes. And when we went out, there were cows everywhere.
Yeah.
So you'd go out in the morning, and the cows were in the open field areas, but the woods areas had deer going through them, and that's where we hunted. But we would go out we get up in the pitch black, leave our little site, which we had gated in because we'd put up fence around it, because
Yep.
the cows would come eat your whatever. They would eat everything, right? But when you went
You
out,
ever wake up and go pee and one of them?
yeah, yes, that is 110% true. You'd go out and the cows were there. So we would leave in the morning, and you'd walk out, and these cows would be big. I mean, these are big animals. You'd come out, and they're like this, like they're standing there, and I don't know if they're awake or what's going on, but there they were. You'd have to navigate around they weren't 3 feet away from you, and there were cows right there.
Wow.
It was Rafe. I don't think you'd like it. I'm sure you would. You'd be like, cows. But
I'm hobby farm, so I've raised cows.
they're right. I mean, you get up, you're like, okay, I hope you guys are okay with me walking past you, but they were. And anyways, I shot that doe that night, and it was
Was
great.
this just stepping back? Was this your guys' first trip, second trip?
No, this is probably the 3rd year we went down.
And you guys got this property through? Are you doing an outfitter? Are you doing a family friend?
It was somebody that my buddy Jody. I'm gonna call him my brother. Jody is my brother. Love Jody. Hey Jody. But he knew this guy. Kentucky Lou was an electrician that worked with Jody in the concrete business, and Jody knew him, and it was just perfect. We went down there, and we would pay minimum. It was not much, a couple $300 to cover the taxes on the land.
Yeah,
because we were the bow guys, and then Kentucky Lou had, some guys from Michigan that would come down and do the gun season.
What
But-
year was this?
Probably about 5-6 years ago.
no,
Okay.
it was more than that because I was still in middle school when you guys were going.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Probably like 6th grade was 7th, 6th or 7th.
You were into
grade
high school
was-
when we were still doing this, I think, because we were going to bring you with us
yeah,
the next year,
the following year when you guys lost
and
it. Yeah.
and then actually the farmer sold it to outfitters,
Okay.
so outfitters have it now. But that season, I got the grand slam that year, right? I shot the doe. Then I went over in a climber, and I got what I call the hillbilly buck. He's hanging here in the wall. He came through. I got him, and then I put the turkey blind up in a different spot, and I actually shot. It was perfect because I ranged it 31 yards away, and I had a turkey tag, and actually, I shot through the screen with a fixed broadhead, and I dropped a hen at 31 because you could hit hen or
Tom.
and it was 31 yards away. Dropped the turkey, so I had the doe, the turkey, and the buck. Came home that year with, and it was it was just ideal. And you talk about again, I'm not a trophy hunter, but I'm more than happy with the buck I got. More than happy coming home with a doe.
Yep.
And I got a turkey, and it was just a great experience for me.
Did Jody do well out there too, or?
Not that year. No,
Okay.
Jody did not get anything that year, unfortunately.
That's how it goes.
It is how it goes. I mean, it's hunting. It realistically is what it is. It's hunting.
is.
It's not killing.
It is.
It's going out and you're chasing memories. You're not chasing. Yes, you're chasing the animals, but you're chasing the memories that you're making with the people that you're out there with. And like we said multiple times now for our listeners, I mean, we're mediocre whitetail. We're not chasing them. We are. When I say we're not,
Everybody is.
we're chasing them freaks. But when we see something that's going to make us happy, like Freak Nasty that you shot that year, yeah, we're going to be happy.
I couldn't be happier. It was, like I said, that was a great experience and great memories. Jody and I had so much fun. It was a really good time, and it's something I will never ever forget.
So now
y'all were in the camper. Did y'all have like TV or anything out there?
Oh
Was it-
no,
Were
no,
y'all
Ray.
playing? Was it like were y'all playing cribbage or
We played.
cribbage?
We had little lanterns. We played cribbage, and I mean, I'm an America's Team fan, so
I
we were
was
down
gonna
there.
ask about the football situation.
But so I had the truck and I had Sirius radio, so I'd go out, on Sunday. I'd listen to some of the games, but it truly was. It was so fun. We had a little camp set up, a little camp stove. We would make our breakfast, go out. First, we'd go out and hunt in the dark, past the cows. Then we'd come back and make a breakfast and talk about what we saw and plan for the rest of the day. Because we hunted it was hunting. We went in the morning, came back, ate breakfast. We'd go back during the day. planning for the night hunt, the evening hunt, and
Yeah.
it was just really good times.
So was that your third, first, second? What buck was that one?
That's a good question, Gage. It was like I think it was like
I think it was your third.
I think it was my third, maybe my fourth, because I'd shot some smaller ones, spikes or whatever.
Ones that we don't know where they went, the
Right. When
antlers or
we had
whatever.
we had the cabin then. So, um, it was probably my third or fourth buck. Uh, but to come home, I mean, to have I call it Jody and I call it the Grand Slam, to come back with
Yep.
a doe, a buck, and a turkey.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. That was a highlight of my hunting career, probably.
So that makes me want to ask your all-time top tier favorite hunting story. What tops your charts? Because I mean that one's got to be up there. But what is like the number one memory in the woods?
All right. I'm going to tell this story, and I've told it to you before, Gage. I've told you this one before. And I didn't shoot anything in this story, okay? But it was a morning, and Jody went his direction, I went my direction, and I knew the stand I wanted to get into. And okay, so I'll just tell the story. As I'm heading out in the pitch black, and I've got my little lantern on my head, and I'm walking out because I'm walking through the cows. And as I'm going out to the stand, I'm walking out, and there was an albino skunk as I'm walking out. I'm like, oh, look at that.
Albino skunk.
An albino skunk. It was a white skunk.
Is this in Kentucky?
It was in Kentucky, yes. So I'm walking out. I'm like, whoa, well, I'll go my way. You go your way. Okay. That's exactly what we did. So that's how my morning started out. Was like, whoa, that was close. But as I go and I get in the stand, I get myself situated. And as the sun starts to come up, the pasture was probably about 30 yards to my left in this stand. And the cows are coming through, and I'm watching them, and I hear it, I hear something coming over my right. There was like a trail coming towards me, behind me on my right. And I look back, and a nice buck. I'm like, oh, look at you. And he's probably, at this point, I would guesstimate 50 to 60 yards away. And I watch this buck come walking.
Are you thinking, what is he, 10, 125, 130?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to score the deer, but he was a nice buck. He was bigger than Freak Nasty. He was a nice.
So probably like a 120, 130.
Yes, I won't argue with you. It was beyond the years. Can I put it that way?
Yeah.
It was a nice deer.
Nice deer.
And he's coming, and I watch this deer because I didn't want to turn, but I'm looking as best I can over my right shoulder. And then he comes, and he goes. There was a fence line on my right. He goes across the fence line. He walks up on this hillside, kind of comes down in this little hillside that he was in. He came down into like a little lower level of this. And he just, you guys know how like a dog or a cat, they do these little circles, round and round and round. And I swear to gosh, he did this round and round and round and laid down. Like, oh.
At how far?
At this point, I would guess about 50 yards over my right shoulder. And there was no shot. There's nothing I could do. So I'm just watching, I kept turning and looking. And I could just see his head as he's looking around. And the fellow wanted to go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to do, right? So there I sat, and I'm like, well, what do? I guess I can get out my grunt and try to grunt him over. But I just sat there for a little bit and sat. And while I'm doing this, in Kentucky, they have the squirrels are there. The squirrels in Kentucky are big.
They're huge. They are huge.
They're big. And I'm like, God dang. On my left side in these trees, this pair of squirrels are making all this racket, and they're doing thing up and down, making all this noise. I'm thinking, well, this deer's going to be looking at me. I can't move. I'm sure he's going to be watching me.
Yep.
And so I don't move. And so I sit there, and I don't know how much time passed, maybe 30 minutes or whatever, 45 minutes. And so I just sit there, and pretty soon it was so incredible. One of these squirrels is down on the ground doing his thing. And I see this shadow come cruising across past me, and it was like a hawk of some sort comes in right on top, bang, right on this squirrel, and the noise from the other squirrel and that one, they're making meh, I'm like, holy, what is going on? And as I'm watching, you could just you could see the claws from this bird into this squirrel, and his wings are he's like huddling up around the squirrel on the ground.
What?
I'm not lying, guys. This is crazy. And pretty soon, this bird flies off with a squirrel. I'm like, oh, this. So I'm like, okay, but I'm not wanting to move or do anything because I keep looking over my right shoulder. What's the buck doing? What is going on back here? And he is looking over in this direction. I'm like, he ain't looking at me. He's like, this stuff that's going on, and this bird flies off with the squirrel. The other squirrel that was with that squirrel is all making noise, and like, wow, that was pretty neat. That's pretty neat to see, right? But that ain't the end of the story. So that happens, and so I'm sitting there, and okay, well, what's this deer gonna do? And I'm thinking, do I bust out my grunt? Do I try to bring this deer over by me? And I don't. But I hear something coming down that trail that the deer walked down. Like, oh, this is another buck. What's going on? And as I sit there, it ends up being a coyote. I'm going to say coyote. I know here in Wisconsin, everybody says coyotes or whatever, coyotes, whatever, however they pronounce it. It's a coyote to me. And this coyote walks in, and he goes up on the top of the hill by this buck. The buck, in the meantime, stands up, right? And he turns, and he's facing this coyote. And I kid you not, I saw this, guys. This happened, and that buck and the coyote, like, they catch eyes, right? They look at each
They're
other.
looking at each other.
Yes, and I'm not kidding. This happened, and that coyote looks, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm not messing with you. The coyote takes off, and that buck does the whole circle thing again. Round and round it goes, and lays back down. The coyote's gone. I'm like, what am I gonna do to make this buck move, right?
Do you ever get up and?
So I'm thinking, okay, can I text Jody? So I'm looking, okay, Jody, can you walk down I'm thinking, Jody, can I get you to walk down that trail and maybe get that deer to stand up? Well, guess how much service I had?
Zero.
I had zero service.
In Kentucky, yeah.
Zero service. I keep texting Jody, get text, come on, walk down here. But I couldn't get text. And eventually the deer, he stood up and went off, never gave me any opportunity. But that was I didn't shoot, but that is probably one of my favorite sits I've ever had. Because to watch a bird fly off with a squirrel, watch a coyote stand up and face a buck, and it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
I saw it, guys. I'm not making it up. This all happened. This is true story. It was really fun.
There's
Yeah.
just so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
So now that was how long ago now? Like 8 years?
Probably 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Yeah.
That's gotta. When was your last buck? It was the fork, right? The fork horn out of the
apple tree stand by Grandpa's.
and
Yep.
that one was 9 years ago.
Yeah. So that all happened prior to that.
So I guess one of my big questions here is how do you reignite the spark? Because I feel like you lost it once. Once I left for college and I was gone, I feel like you lost the spark for hunting. How do you find and reignite that spark for other, like, let's say some of our listeners, some older guys who they loved it, they were big time hunters, and they lost that spark and they don't know how to reignite it.
Mm-hmm.
What because I feel like you're on the path to reigniting it. What would you say would be one way that you found a way to make your way back and want to be in the woods and kind of get back to what you were?
Good question. I mean, as a dad and raising you and Sam and Cole, things take precedent. and you guys take precedent. You like, for example, you went to college and I wanted to watch you and your wrestling and all that stuff. And you just, I think you just grow through this, and you there's priorities.
Yeah.
And sometimes the hunting doesn't take the priority, right? The priority is going to Oshkosh and watching you wrestle, or Sam's in Oshkosh. She's graduating and becoming a nurse, and I just, there are priorities where you want to go be part of those accomplishments. Uh, but now that you guys are all becoming adults and doing your things, I feel like I have there's time starting to
Free up again.
yeah, I'm starting to have more time, and
Getting that fire.
yeah, I am starting to get a fire. I do want to go back out, because I mean, prior to all this, I would be out in the yard. I would shoot the bow all the time. I'm shooting all the time, and that kind of went away. But I got this. I bought the bow off of you, Gage, and
What was the bow?
it was a Matthews.
Matthews lift.
Yeah, left. You're gonna tell me.
Oh.
Right. And there's a whole story around me buying that thing. But anyways,
Like I said,
Well, I mean, it's, you know what? It's our podcast. We own it. We run it. We can get into the story.
okay. So why, Gage? You tell me, why did I buy that bow?
I will indeed tell you why you bought the bow. So I bought a bow. I should not have bought a bow. I went to Shields with my buddy, my roommate, Kean. Good dude. See you in April. We're going fishing, boy. We go to Shields together, and he's buying a shotgun for waterfowl season that year. And I'm looking around, and I'm doing a real good job keeping my hands in my pockets, not buying anything. And then I walk by the bows, and Matthews just released a new bow. The following week, actually, they released their newest bow, but they had them lifts out. I'm looking at it, and I pick it up, and I'm like, man, this thing is sweet. This thing is sweet. And then a Shields representative walks by. And he's like, you want to draw it back? I'm like, yeah, I do. But I'm not buying it. He's like, all right.
So how much money do you have?
I'm a broke-ass college kid. Broke-ass college kid. When I say broke-ass college kid, I mean I'm broke-ass college kid.
He's in the red.
Yeah. So we go out, and I draw it back. I'm like, man, can I shoot it? Like, can I fling an arrow? So I go and I fling an arrow. And then I fling 5. And then I fling 10. And then next thing I know, my credit card's out and the thing is in my hands and I'm going home with it.
Right. So you buy the bow. Did you
So I
buy
buy
a
the
nice
bow.
case with it?
And I buy SKB case with it. Shout out SKB cases. We wouldn't mind a sponsor.
It's a nice case. Very nice case.
Extremely nice case. 2 days later, I shot my buck for the year with that brand new bow with Victory VAP TKO arrows. Sponsor us. Very nice arrows. Rafe likes some VAP TKOs. Oh, you like the rips.
Yeah.
But yeah, I brought it home, and as I'm sighting it in, the day before I shot my buck, Padre comes walking out, and he's looking at me shooting, and he's like, that's not the Z7. I'm like, no. And here I am thinking he's gonna be all mad and be like, well, what are you doing with a new bow? He looks at it and he's like, can I shoot it? I'm like, yeah. He draws it back and he flings an arrow and he's like, your mom is going to be really mad at you, but this thing is nice. I'm like, yeah, it is.
And I shoot it better than Gage did.
No, he does
Yes, I
not.
did. And
Whatever.
And I still shoot better than Gage
Whatever.
does.
That's a bunch of baloney.
No,
Hey,
that's true.
we can go and
I've seen it. It's true.
we
It
can
is
go
true.
and we can do some 3D target shoots.
We
this
can,
year.
but I'll beat you in that too.
We'll put
Probably
some
would.
bets on it. We'll put some bets on
That's
it.
fine. I
What is
beat
that,
you
Marty?
anytime out there.
Money's up, Marty.
Yeah, just like my $20 was on you to pin Taryn. Yeah.
All right, but that's
Yeah.
wrestling. But shooting bow, I shoot better bow than
No,
you
you do. Whatever.
Yes, I do.
Whatever.
Anyway, moving on.
He goes and he's like, all right, this is my bow now. And I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll sell it to you and give him a great deal with the SKB case, arrows, and bow. And he takes it. He's like, now, what I'm paying you for is not to buy a new bow.
Yes.
And in my head, I'm like, yeah, right. Anyways, so he goes and he buys that bow, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, I'm back to a 2010. Nah. So then I rebought the new bow.
All right.
But yeah, now he's got that one, and you ready to get in the woods and hunt with that thing or what?
I am.
How many times did you get out this year?
I didn't count. I didn't
Not as
count.
many as you should have.
I got a fair amount,
What,
but
3 times?
No, certainly more than 3 times. But
do you got any big plans to for hunts this year? Or?
well, it all depends on you, I guess. But I wouldn't mind a trip or two. But going behind the house here and getting up to Tomahawk. I do have some plans doing that. I would like to get some stands set up. If you and Rafe can go and set up my other, old man stand for me so I can get up in it easy, that'd be great.
So are you in the stage where it's kind of like a sit back and let the young guns do the scouting and guiding pretty much?
110%. You guys put me in the spot. You tell me the deer's coming. Because I do have a story about this, but that I did this for you. But
Yo.
although it is, and it's true. You
didn't even show me the pictures. You were keeping them to yourself.
Don't start with me, young man.
You were keeping them to yourself.
You knew dang well what's going on. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this once. Okay. So, listeners, I was on a trip with my beautiful bride. We were on a cruise actually, and I had a cell cam. And I knew this nice buck was coming in at our Tomahawk stand, and I even knew what time this buck would come through because he was on his schedule, and I knew, and I'm like, oh man, when I get back from this trip, I'm gonna go sit in the stand. So I get back from the trip, Gage, Cole, let's go up and go hunting. Gage is like, oh, Dad, I only get to go out one time.
It was the only time I could go out.
Can I tell the story? You're going to ruin it for me.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, Dad, this is the only time I get to go. Can I please sit in the stand? And I knew. I'm like, okay.
Rafe, have you ever had an encounter like this with your dad?
No, I wouldn't say necessarily.
So now let's say you're in the same scenario. What are you doing? If you're coming home for one weekend, do you expect the gung-ho stand if you only got one weekend to hunt? Or are you like letting it go?
I mean, I'm not really expecting it, but I would like to.
You would push for it, right?
I would, yeah, I'd like to, but I'm not expecting it if I'm not.
Well, exactly. I'm not expecting it, but
yeah.
Gage pushed for it.
I pushed for it.
He pushed. I'm like, fine, young man, you can have the stand. And I went and chose a different stand. But the whole time that I'm in this other stand, keep in mind, I still have the app on my phone with the cell cam.
Which I do not. I had no idea this buck was showing up. Zero.
You certainly did. But anyways, all of a sudden, the camera goes off, and I'm like, oh, look, there's the buck. And then it wasn't 15, 20 seconds later, my phone rings. And here I'm sitting in the stand, and Gage is calling me. I'm like, I know what just happened. And he's all whispering, Dad, he's down, Dad, he's down. I got him, Dad. And I'm thinking to myself, you dirty bird, you just shot the buck I've been watching and I've been ready to get. And sure enough, so there's Gage's nice, bow buck. And yeah, whatever. He put a nice shot on him. He got him. Congrats. And I was, I sit here and I tease and I kid. I'm super happy that it was you that got him, and I couldn't be more proud and again more happy that it was you that got that deer. It was funny how everything just worked out.
It did. It really did. So going back to trips, we are currently talking Missouri, are we not?
We are.
Rafe, what do you feel about Missouri?
Like go into it.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna go on one possibly big hunt with y'all this year. I don't know if it'd be the Caden one out in Idaho or it'd
So
be Missouri.
the Caden one would be, we're just going to pack out. We're not hunting. We're just going to record and pack out with him.
It'd be like either I do that or I'm like going
To hunt.
to hunt. But obviously I got another year of school to finish and then
Yeah.
hunt wrestling season, so that's gonna be pretty hard to do. But I probably would be able to manage one. If not, I mean, podcasting all summer.
So with Missouri Padre,
Yeah, man.
are we thinking that we're going to go through Outfitter, or are we going to do the public land kind of DIY?
Okay. Well, I'll give you my take on that, right? And I have
exactly what I want to hear. Is
I've given you my take on
I want to
this.
hear it.
So, okay, at where I'm at in my life,
Yep.
I'm not interested in a DIY, right?
Yep.
I would like to go with an outfitter. I'd like to have somebody making me breakfast, putting me in a stand in the morning.
Yep.
I'm sorry, listeners, but I'd like to go sit in the stand, do my thing in the morning. But you know what I want to do in the middle of the day? I'm bringing my golf clubs. I'm doing it. Gage, don't you can sit and laugh at me. And I know Rafe is dang near a par golfer. I know how good Rafe is, but I'm kidding. Rafe is not a good golfer. He's terrible, actually. But anyways, I am going to golf, and then I'll come back and I'll sit in the evenings. That's where I'm at in my life. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm looking for in a Missouri trip or wherever we go.
Hey, if that's what sparks your itch to get back, I mean,
Hey,
then
yeah, bring it. Go ahead, Rafe. Bring it. You know what? If you guys want to go sit in the stand for 12 hours, more to you guys.
I mean, I sat for I tracked it this year. I sat for 504 hours. 504 hours ass and stand this year.
That's good for you.
That sucked. That sucked ass.
Yeah,
I can't lie.
Right.
The amount of mental games that I went through sitting there that long.
Yeah.
That was.
That's where I'm looking. That's where I'm looking for a good outfitter.
You avoid the what ifs. It's more of a when.
Yeah.
And I guess that brings us to the what do you think of hunting as a whole now? Is it a money game or is it a skill game when you go out of state at this point? Is it can you afford to be there, or is it a how good are you now that you're there?
That's a fantastic question. That's a
And
great question.
That's a roundtable question. So we'll start with you, Padre, and then we'll move on to Rafe.
That is a great question. I certainly think that there is, as I've become, matured and getting older, and I do think that when you go with an outfitter and you spend some money, your expectations change. I'm not. I want to make one thing clear. I'm not looking.
You're not going and expecting that you're coming home with something.
Exactly right, and I'm not.
You still understand that it's hunting.
Correct. And personally, for me, I'm not going out there and looking for, again, as you noted earlier on, you asked me, what did it measure? That's not me. I'm not looking for
you're the mediocre class.
I am 100%. I want to go out. I want to have fun, get myself a deer. And if I shoot a nice buck and a doe, I'm coming home one happy individual. I'm not looking for another, trophy to put on the wall. That's not me.
But It would be nice.
Absolutely. That would be, that would be the
So I mean, to rephrase it, it's not like you're not looking. You're just not expecting. You would be okay without a freak.
correct.
You would be happy with a mediocre
Whitetail.
whitetail.
But you're asking more so if this is whether it's a skill or
If
money.
it's a skill or a financial.
Oh, okay. So I didn't answer that question.
Do you think it's a financial game, or is it still referred to as a skill game with outfitters involved?
But do you think there has to be some skill involved, right? You, I mean,
100%.
you have to have. You can't go out there with your cologne on and
Yeah.
your fancy smelling. I mean, you have to sit in the stand and have that deer get close to you, right?
Yeah.
There has to be some skill involved. You have to make the shot,
You gotta make the
right?
shot and kill it.
But I mean, if you're not financially capable of getting in that land, on that spot, in that outfitter,
You're likely not going to be getting
your
the same
chances
caliber. Well,
your chances are lower.
or caliber of deer.
Correct.
Like you're gonna get a likely
Correct.
smaller deer.
100%. 100%. You have to spend some money to get on. You have to get. If you want an opportunity, you're going to spend a little money, right? You're not gonna find that. I mean, people own the land, right? When you're going somewhere, and that's just the way it's going to be. And I enjoy. I enjoy. You get a good outfitter that gives you good experience.
Yeah, and if you see a lot of these public hunters that go and get really ginormous deer, I mean, there's definitely a lot of skill that come involved because just hunting public in general is way more challenging. But there's factors like you're sitting against a big piece of private property where the deer are getting a whole bunch of feed. There's a lot less pressure on the deer and so many other factors that are leading you getting an opportunity. It's not just like you're gonna stumble across 180-inch deer.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Those places you're talking about, Rafe, they don't exist on the. I shouldn't say that. They do exist on public property, but they are hard to find.
Hard to find,
And they're high pressure.
meaning that like just normal public land in general is just hard to hunt. And the odds of you finding a big buck out there that's, survived all those years, it's rare. It's a unicorn.
Yeah,
So
that's
A
100%.
unicorn.
That's 100%. You're right. You're right. And that's where I say, where I'm at, I want to find an outfitter. Put me at these. Give me the opportunity.
and
Your percentages of finding that deer are going to be higher with an outfitter.
and those deer that are that old, they're smart deer. They're not gonna be. They're probably likely very nocturnal. They're not gonna be wanting to come out during the day at chances. During
Until you
hunting
get to
season,
late season.
until there's limited food supply.
Oh, sure. But
Yeah.
When you get to Green Revisited in that first week of December, middle of December, then that's when them big bucks come out and they start to play. But who wants to deal with 10-degree
Then
weather?
again, you gotta be wanting to
You have to be out there
do
and
the things
wanting to
that
do the
few people want to do.
exactly.
so go back to your question. Is it skill or is it money?
Oh,
Well, it is.
It's both.
It is
Yeah.
both, actually. I mean, you have to be able to sit in that stand, sit still, sit.
But
if you have
out
to
of
pick
state,
a side,
out of state, if you have no money, you're not getting those pieces of property.
Go.
Because again, you can't hunt food sources.
Right.
go
On
find
public land, there's no food plots out
Right.
there.
Right.
Gotta do your research and find public, buy private.
I mean, yeah.
For deer hunting. Now, you guys took off and went and got turkeys or a turkey over in the Badlands or wherever you went, South
Yes,
Dakota,
we
right?
did. Well,
I mean, that's a little different heading over there, right? For turkeys. But if you want to go deer hunting, that's
Whatever.
a whole different game.
yeah, it is. It really is.
I guess another question that I had: do you think social media has helped or hurt hunting?
Yeah, coming from a dude who realistically, you spend almost no time on social media.
Yeah, I don't. So I don't know how to. So social media.
I guess we would be considered social media.
Right. But has it hurt or helped? Uh, I don't know that I have a good answer for that because like Gage says, I don't. I'm not really tuned into it. Would I say
Is this a round table or just
so?
Yeah, round table.
So
for sure.
so could I throw out there though, because I know Gage loves it. He puts on YouTubes and he watches these different. I don't remember the name of the.
you know a couple of them?
I don't know the names of them, but I
You
know.
know, like Bone Collector and Michael
Sure,
Waddell,
sure.
because you used to put them on when we were
Yep.
4th grade,
Yep.
3rd grade.
Slockmaster.
Slockmaster.
Yep,
You ever
yep.
watch Slockmaster?
I don't think
Tim
so.
Wells.
Tim Wells
I
Slockmaster
don't think so. I don't know. I
with the
don't.
blowgun.
Nope. I don't know. No.
We'll put those on. Shout out Tim Wells. You are a legend.
So do I think that those being exposed to that probably helps the individual who wants to go out and try to do that on their own. It gives you guys, or it gives all of us, something to work off of, right? Gives us ideas. When I think about the Bone Collector and you know, the grunt wheeze, for example, whatever that noise is that they make, who knows that if you don't watch that on TV or social media and pick that up, that's, I think that's good information.
For sure.
So
I think
learning
there's
it from
plenty
social media.
of things to learn from, watching some of these hunters. But then I do think that there's a few. I mean, they also get to benefit a lot more financial reasons. They're not going to be your everyday, probably mediocre whitetail hunter. You know what I'm saying? They're probably just focusing on those big trophy hunts. Um, and that's where I think that there can be a little bit of disconnect between those types of hunters and then the everyday bow hunter.
So that's where I think it's a give and take with social media. Like, you got to take it with a grain of salt, because I mean, we're sitting here and we are considered social media, but I feel like we promote more of a camp, a deer camp kind of style, a be okay with what you shoot kind of style of people.
Yeah.
Because realistically, looking at what we've shot in the past, how we're moving forward, yes, we're trying to grow and be more of a style of hunter where we shoot bigger deer. Everybody wants to, right?
Mhm.
Social media sits there and says that it has to be 140 inches in order to post it on Instagram, right? We're trying to say that that's not the case. Go out there, post that 100-inch deer. Why not? And that's where we are as social media, and technically we are. So if we're looking at it from our aspect, I would say that our social media is affecting hunting in a positive direction, saying be okay with what you are happy with, be okay with promoting hunting as a whole, as a culture, as a, hey, we're getting together with our family and our friends and we're doing something that we love and we basically have autism about. And then you have the other aspect of social media where it's, hey, if you don't shoot a 140-inch deer, you're not a
Credible.
credible or high-end hunter, right? Where, like, yeah, sure, whatever. Everybody wants to shoot a big buck,
Like we said, like
but
if you
that's
go out
not
in
realistic.
go in public. A lot of these people that are hunting on these, what do you call them? Just like farms.
Farms, outfitters, private
outfit-
property. They've
you
got
could
1,000 acres that
could
they're
argue
hunting,
that they're less skilled. I mean, they get
but they're not. I mean, realistic. Like, look at Lee Lukoski or, who's another one? Drury.
I'm just saying some people
They are
hunt
skilled as can be, but they still.
I'm not saying every single one of them. I'm saying, but the everyday person who's
everyday
been
random
the guy
Joe.
who's been hunting public his whole life and, have shot deer like that, I could argue have more skills being just walking out into a random environment, like finding the schedule or timeline of these deer
Yeah.
and then putting on them, putting in the time. That's a skill, knowing weather. Like this is
But then you could also get an everyday Joe Schmo who thinks that he knows and just absolutely sucks ass at it.
yeah, I mean, that's a big difference though. I mean, I'm talking about the people who are
Putting in the grind and actually trying to understand it. Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
But don't you think we all? I mean, I know I've put my time in. My Kentucky trip, that time that I went and I got my buck, my doe, my turkey. Jody and I went down there. We put our time in. I put my time in. I got a camera out there. I knew that buck was coming. That Gage ended up shooting. I put my time in. I think that you you work with the cards that you're dealt.
I
Right?
feel like us and Tomahawk is a
Absolutely.
completely different story, though.
Really, I feel like we work with the cards we're dealt.
We're not, though, because no matter what we say to everybody else on the property, little things get shot. So we will never shoot big deer up there because people don't listen and they don't want to try to manage and shoot big bucks. So we'll never shoot big deer up there because they get shot when they're young.
Yeah. Okay, but
And I guess
that's
if
a little
we're
bit of a
calling that-
different story. That's a little different, I think. Right?
But
That's
if we're gonna call that cards that were dealt, those are the cards that were dealt.
yeah.
Because I mean, realistically, the end goal is to shoot a big buck, right? We want bigger deer. We don't want to continue to shoot 1.5, 2.5-year-old deer. We want to end up shooting 4.5, 5.5.
Yeah.
And we won't get there if we continue to shoot the 1.5, 2.5s, which is what continually happens up there. And I mean, we put in the work, we put in the time, we put in the effort, we try to understand and learn. And it's been year in, year out of.
There's other. I think there's other. There are other.
Like wolves.
Yes.
factors.
There are other
There are
things
we're
that
right next to
impact.
public land.
There are things that impact it up there. I mean, that again goes back to, I mean, the question that Rafe brought up was, is it skill or money? Well, I mean, you can have all the skill in the world up there, and
If the deer aren't there,
if
then
the deer aren't there, you can be you can be the best hunter there is, and
you
if
ain't gonna
there's a
shoot
deer
it.
to shoot, you ain't gonna get one.
You ain't gonna shoot it.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So then it comes down to money. Let's spend
You
the
gotta
money
go
and
buy
find an
more
outfitter
land.
and go somewhere, or yes, buy more land, or you're going somewhere and getting yourself an outfitter.
Hunting in itself, I don't think is a poor man's
It's not a poor man's
game.
sport.
Like if you gotta have, I mean, if you want to go and get cameras, you want to get hunting gear, you want to have a gun, you
Yep,
undone.
yep.
But
Or you accidentally
ammo,
tip
gas, batteries. Like you got to think of so many different small things that you're spending money on. It's like
Getting time off.
Yep, getting time off. Time that you could be working and making more money. You're gonna be spending money in general. It's not something cheap. It's something that you want to do and something that you like to do. So you're gonna take time and you're gonna set money aside and do it because you like doing it truly.
Yep. So now, moving on, you were bringing up how you love to shoot the bow.
And I can shoot way better than you.
Yeah, whatever.
anyways.
I mean, that's
And Rafe has seen it. But anyways,
that's whatever. I don't believe it.
we'll have to get that in video.
We will have to. That brings me to my next point here. How would you feel about helping to set up a 3D target range in your backyard here for the guests, so that we can come and continue to have 3D archery shoots?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but
So
I'd
like
be
deer
interested.
and we throw like foam 3D targets out in the back here.
Yeah, well, let's just start with some tic-tac-toe. I'd beat you in it, I know.
No, I'd smoke your ass.
No. But anyways, I mean, I would. You and Rafe go ahead, and then I'll take the winner. That's probably what it'll end up being. But anyways, no, I would be interested in. I enjoy I really enjoy just shooting the bow. So
Well, we got Anna out there tonight, shooting the bow, drawing it back, hitting bullseyes right off the
Yep.
rip.
Yep. No, that's great. I think that's let's get active. Let's get out and do that.
All right. Well,
Lastly, is
go
there
ahead, Peanut.
a, I guess, bucket list animal or hunt that you want to do
Oh,
before exiting the podcast?
well, I will answer this question, but I do want to. I mean, we're going to move on. I do have one topic that's not hunting related that I'll hit after this. But do I have a bucket list that I would like to do? As far as shooting, hunting, no. I would like to. On my bucket list, I would love to. And this is, I mean, it's a little different, but I would love to do a fly-in with you guys.
Oh, fishing.
Yes, to go up to Canada and get some wall. I would love. That's on my bucket list with you guys. That would be a good time. I've done it in the past with friends of mine, but I'd love to go up with you guys and do a fly-in fishing. That would be a good time. Spend a week up with you. I'm going to call you a bunch of bozos, but
Yahoos.
that I would. Now, the other topic that I wanted to bring up, because I'm not sure, I'm gonna come off of the hunting a little bit, and I'm gonna move to some sports related stuff because I know
sports stuff.
I know Rafe. I know Rafe. I know
Oh,
Rafe
boy.
is such a I'm sure he is a Seahawks fan now, but anyways, and I think about, tomorrow the legal tampering starts
in the
Rafe.
NFL.
Yes, in the NFL. I'm sure that Rafe is thinking, well, I guess I'm not sure. I don't know your favorite teams, Seattle, New England, right? The Niners, the Bengals, whatever it might be. What do you think is going to be happening tomorrow, Rafe?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, with the legal tampering.
Legal tampering meaning, I guess, explain.
So the legal tampering. So what happens tomorrow is teams can start talking to free agents and contracts can be negotiated and then signed on Wednesday.
Well, Alec Pierce is staying with Indy.
I hear that the Niners are very interested in getting Pierce.
Well, they can fuck right off.
I've heard the Niners. I hope that doesn't happen.
Another thing that I heard is that the Cowboys fell very short of getting Max Crosby, offering a first and a second, not 2 firsts.
Yep, they did.
They went to the Ravens.
Yeah.
Now I think for the Niners though specifically, we're going to need line and D line. I mean, just we can't keep our quarterback safe. If we can keep our quarterback safe and give Brock Purdy time or Mac Jones time, I think we're going to be very successful. And then as far as getting to the passer, I think we were like damn near last in pass rushing this last year. We need to bring that back. I mean, a big part of that when you have Fred Warner, the best linebacker in the game, out, and then you have Nick Bosa, one of the best edge rushers in the game, out. That's going to make a huge difference.
So what I'm hearing from you is, as of now, you're a Niners fan.
Always have been.
Bullshit. Gage, do you have a bullshit button? Because I remember. Oh, I like Tom Brady. I don't care if he's a Patriot or a Buccaneer.
I was a Tom Brady round fan, so I mean,
Anyways, I just wanted to get that out there and get Rafe some grief there.
Yeah, I could always give you grief about the Cowboys winning their Super Bowl in like the 80s.
Yeah, well, Rafe, I've been a Cowboy fan forever.
Yeah.
And I know you've been a Bengals.
Well, we're going to be real here. The Raiders are winning the Super Bowl in 2 years.
Oh, boy. Okay.
They are.
You heard it here first with Gage.
They just got two first.
The Colts fan just spoke.
Yeah.
The Colts fan is the most knowledgeable.
Yeah. Anyways. Blah, blah, blah.
All right. Well, closing thoughts from you, Padre.
Closing
thoughts.
No, I appreciate it. I love the questions. I love sharing some of my experiences, and I would come and do that again. again, from my perspective, it's not the. I'm not a trophy hunter. I love the experience, and I've had great experiences through my years that I wouldn't trade for anything, and I hope to have more.
Hell yeah. Peanut?
Once again, great to be back on the podcast. Probably won't be hearing from me too
For a little
much.
bit.
Yeah, for a little bit. I mean, might be able to crank out a couple of days, but after that, not for a minute. Got to go back to school.
Well, I mean, we got 4 weeks here of
Yeah,
podcasts
I mean, maybe
now.
if I could get back in on some,
We've got a month of podcasts now, so
yeah, on Zooms or something.
we can
Yeah.
figure something out. Otherwise, you'll be back here once school's over and we're back for summer break.
But yeah, of course, and appreciate the support. Spread the word.
Hell yeah.
Let's go get them, boys.
Just like Peanut said, spread the word. Get our name out there. We really appreciate any of you guys who made it this far. I mean, we're not trying to push any envelope. We're just some dudes talking hunting, drinking some ice cold beer, and having a good time with it.
All right.
So with that,
God bless.
Stay mediocre. Catch you on the next one.